Hello there, Chris here from Sheep and Truss. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about putting strings on and taking strings off. Simple as that. Regular metal post, electric and acoustic. Metal post with the hole through or slot in the top. Not talking about locking. Not talking about nylon rollers on a classical. So the object in the music industry, if you're teching for someone or if you're working in a music shop, is to get the strings on. Pretty quickly, get them on. Okay. Do not spend your time tying crafty little knots or getting the tail poking through and looping it over. What's that all about? You think you need that to anchor the string so it won't unravel? That just shows that you are not doing it professionally. And when it comes to getting those off, when they're knotted or looped around, just makes life hard. So it's very simple to get strings on quickly. They will bite, they will hold their tune, as I will demonstrate. And then when you want to change, you can get them off professionally. Okay, now, materials I'm using here. Very, very shiny nylon string and a chromed steel pole with a convenient notch in the end. Slippery, slippery. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simply show you how it works and how everything happens. Now, 3 windings, okay. Now, if I get a good grip there and a good grip, good grip either side. Now, if I tighten, watch the pole bend. Look, I can bend a steel pole around. If I loosen this end here and then tighten it, I'm pulling on this end, I'm pulling towards the camera. By loosening that one, it's like a brake. Now I'm going to pull on this one and loosen this one and then tighten it. But loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten. When they're both tight, can't go anywhere. That's wiggling in a vice steel pole. So all you need to do is make sure that, like for roping stuff, okay, if I've got a load on here, I can have this and I can just keep attention. That ton weight can't go anywhere. Loosen off a little bit and then just a little bit of braking tension. So 3 winds gives you everything you could possibly want grip-wise on really shiny surfaces. Now, like a guitar post, we need to stop this end moving. If one end is the brake and it can't move, then the rest of it can't go anywhere. So let's just pop it into this little slot at the top here. Now, look, I've got it in there with one finger. I'm just going to move my windings up, and let's see what happens. Oops, yeah, see, I've got to do the vice up tighter. Hang on. Right. Now I'm getting a really good grip on this. A really, really good grip. Just holding it lightly with my finger. Look, I'm not actually... Look at it. That is going nowhere. It can't. It's absolutely there. Okay, well, so that just proves that really quickly and easily. If I take this out, okay, let's do what people do wrong. Okay, let's do extra winds for a start, okay? People like to get loads on, and there we are, lots of windings all on their string post. Now, watch what happens as I tighten and loosen. You can see they're loosening and contracting, loosening and contracting. Right, whammy down, you loosen off. whammy off, it tightens up. Is it going to go back to the same place? Are all these wines going to go back exactly where they were? Probably not. The more wines you have, the more tuning problems you're going to get, because these wines are just going to act like a spring. They cease to grip. The more wines, the less grip you have, you see? So let's try something else that people do, which is pretty drastic and leads to broken strings, especially on the plain strings. Okay, you got it like that, and then you're coming along and you've overlapped. So this winding is going to overlap that one. Pull it tight, and there we are. Now what will happen there is that overlapping, so much tension on there, it can cut through itself like a cheese wire. So if we just look at that more simply with a single winding, if I overlap that and put enough pressure on there, that's going to cut through like a cheese wire. So there we are. Now you've got your slot on some of your fenders. That could be the hole that goes through. On your fenders, you've got the thing that goes down in the middle there, you know. And if I just get, say, 3 windings on there, absolutely going nowhere. Okay, what is the point then of putting some silly, twatty, crafty fisherman's knot on? None whatsoever, really. It could even cut through itself. So let's look at stringing up an actual guitar. Okay, so now the thing is to get the how much string do you have coming through? Okay, whether you have a slot with a hole down in the middle, like on some vendors, or this going straight through, is pretty much the same. Okay, for a simple hole through, for years I've had a little brown mark on my thumbnail, a little mole, and that distance past the machine plus 1/4 inch has always been perfect. Absolutely perfect. If it's going, you don't need anything other than that. So what I've done is I've measured it for you, and what we come up with is 1 5/16 of an inch. Now there's a proper measurement for you. 1 inch and 5/16. Well, actually, look, if you don't know what on earth that is, it's 34 mil. So let's get our length. What I'll do is we would actually stick in through first, and note the angle. We're going that angle. Isn't that funny? Why is that? Okay. Let's get our 1 5/16. Snip him off. And what I need to do now is to leave about 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm going to kink it. Yeah, like that. So I've kinked him over. Put him over the top. And hold it down. So it's actually holding that down there. I'm over the top of the bit sticking through. What I'm going to do, I'm going to wind on and keep holding down. I want to keep under. Now you see the first wrap is coming through. I want to stay underneath it. It's got to stay under that wrap. And we wind until we get some tension on there, enough to hold the string in. And here we go with the second string, and again you'll see that I'm coming through that angle. There we are. And I thread it through kind of where it's going to go on the nut, you know, because that helps to get the overall length. There's my length, there's my extra 1/4 of an inch. Snip him off. And let's get a 1/4 of an inch there. kink it, so let me first bend there, over the top, and press down on the bit of string sticking out, and as I go around, I'm pressing it right down to the headstock. I want to be as low as I can go. I've got to go underneath everything here. And there we are, we've got some tension on. Going underneath everything. It's not too important how much of that sticks out. I mean, it's near enough 1/4 of an inch. If you don't do it right, it could pull through, couldn't it? Which is why some people get scared and they want to do some stupid fishing knot or some idiotic little kink. Now, why am I working from the first string, then the second string? Don't you always do it from the bottom string? Do you do it from the bottom string? I bet you do. I start at the string that gives the less tension on the whole guitar. Okay, so this whole guitar's sitting there with nothing on it, no tension, and then I'm going to put on the most tension of all, the big thick E string. And then I'm going to put even more tension on that side by cranking up the big old A string. Got quite a fair bit of tension all on one side now. And it doesn't get better as I go across, does it really? Just the D adds to that sideways pressure. So it's just best to start with the lowest tension. Makes sense, doesn't it? Then the next highest tension. And then I'm coming across the next highest tension. There's not enough there to really, pull anything sideways. By the time I get to the D, I'm fairly well balanced. Adding on the A and the E then is just a breeze. And just nicer for the guitar. Okay, and now we're on to the D string, the 4th string. I'm going to measure it. Yeah, give me 1/4 of an inch. Cut it. And this time I want to go through that way and come round over the top. So there's my 1/4 of an inch through. Give it a kink. And then come round over the top. Hold it down. And buzz it on. Now you could be asking, why am I using the same length of string, the same amount of, look, it's got to go underneath that baby there. Got to go underneath. Everything's got to go, one wrap over the top, and then all the rest go underneath. They must not cross over. So, why am I using the same length of string for the planes and the wounds? You might think I'd need more wraps around with the plane because they haven't got any ridges to grip or anything like that. As we've seen in the principles of how a wraparound sort of grip works, you don't need the serrated grip on the wound strings is purely coincidental. It's just because we need thicker, bigger body of material to vibrate, so we developed wound strings. Nothing to do with grip on the string post. So the same length is fine. Now what you'll find is, that one looks a bit longer than that one. Okay, the tail's going through. Okay, depends where you just catch it to put your kink in. It's not the end of the world. The thing is, this bit sticking out on a slotted post with a hole down the middle, that's the bit you'd poke down. Don't poke the whole string down. 1/4 of an inch sticking out of your fingers like so. Poke it in, pull it over, kink. There you are, that's all you need. And here we go with the last one, bottom E string. Just measure him and get my extra 1/4 of an inch. Slip them off. Poke it through. Try and go over that one, shall we? Get it kinked over the top. That's what really gives you initial grip, is that kink. If you've got a sharp kink, then you're going to be fine. And let's go over the top of the tail and then underneath, straight away, underneath. Remember, no string wraps should ever overlap each other, because they will cut through each other. And there you are. we're all strung up, everything's fine, nothing's going to slip there. I don't quite like the look of that extra long one there. Let's just, there you go. Right, how to do it. It's a fast pro job. When you've got to do it as a guitar tech for someone who's performing, you don't restring, obviously, and they go and use it straight away. But you've got, you know, 3, 4, 5 or more guitars to do every couple of days. You just got to bang them out. Working in a big music shop, you know, you've got to go around every so often and restring a wall of guitars to keep them all in. And I'm talking about if you're working in London where there's lots of choice of people, and everything's got to be really, really good, or at least it was back in the 80s when I was doing it. You just say, right, the boss would say, okay, do the wall by the window, and you just go through them. And you've got to do them right, but you've got to do them quick. That's the pro way. No knitting, no knots. So here we are, all done, all lovely, and just beautiful. Of course, you know, when you're putting strings on an industrial scale, properly for guitar teching or setting up in shops, you tune up each string as you go. You put the top E on and you tune it up, boing, straight up with your tuner. And then you put the B on and you go boing, straight up with your tuner. The G on, straight up with the tuner. And this is sort of like cumulative tension going across. This is why you want to start on the least tension. So that's going to go straight up to an E. Wink, straight up there with your... And then you're going to go put your B on and you're going to go straight up to the B with the old tuner there. And you're going to go right across. So you're adding that tension, but it's lower tension. If you start at the E, you're going to go right up to the straight up there. And you've got full tension on. Then you've got way tension. Then you've got quite a bit of blooming tension all on one side. Now, okay, why tune them up? As each string goes on, tune it straight to pitch. Yeah, why not? What else are you going to do? Are you going to kind of do it halfway and then retune it? No, you've got to bang it in there. String on, bang it up the tune. String on, bang it up the tune. String on, bang it up the tune. That's why you go from the less tension side. If you've got, say, like a Bigsby or a trem of some sort, I'll just take that in for a moment. That's nice, isn't it? Of course, you're going to tension it up as you tune each string up. Yeah, it's going to go flat because each one adds tension to the trem and pulls the trem up. So you're going to start obviously going out of tune, but at least you've gone up to pitch each time. So at least then when you go back, it's pretty much a 1, maybe 2 step job to go bang, 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 and then perhaps bang, bang, bang. It's all about doing it fast, but that has to be done really efficiently. And it's got to go into the hands of the player and just stay in tune. End of. Okay, so here's that beautiful 335 with the Bigsby. So let's, does it stay in tune? Brand new strings. Open F chord. Yeah, that seems to stay in tune. I mean, it's still holding it. Bit of bending. Not bad. New new strings, don't forget. They're not even tensioned in yet. That's good enough. Most people ain't even in that tune. So let's try look, this is my band now, won't it? Look. Go banging. Strings. I think you say that the way that these strings are out onto the posts holds tune about as good as it's going to.